Today I'm going to talk to you guys a little more candidly about some weird stuff that's kind of been part of my life, all my life, and I've kind of looked into things and just to kind of see if anyone else has these weird experiences like I do, or if I'm like the only weirdo out there, but I don't think I am. Shit, my battery's gonna die. Okay, I'm back. I went ahead and just plugged it in. So, like I was saying, like weird things have went on with me for as long as I can remember. So the first thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is the ringing in my ears. All my life, it seems like there's always been this ringing in my ears. I hear it a lot more like when I'm sleeping at night, or not sleeping, but when I'm laying down at night and everything's nice and calm and peaceful and quiet. And I don't know, it's not really like ringing, because I've had ringing in my ears before. It's more like a hum or like a tone. I don't know, it's like, like that type of thing. And my husband and I lived in this house that was extremely haunted. It was on the historical register, and it had a really extensive history, so I can imagine that there would be some kind of activity like that in the house. My daughter was actually born when we lived there, and when we would take videos of her, now that when we look back on them, there's like orbs flying everywhere through those videos, but not in any other videos after we left that house. So I do believe there was some kind of activity there, but the humming and the tones were so bad when we lived in that house that I had a horrible time sleeping there. And I remember I would always ask my husband, like, don't you hear that? And he didn't hear it because it was just so bad. I thought maybe something was wrong with me. Maybe I was hearing like a tone that the heater or something was making from the basement, which was like right below the room that we slept in. So I just thought maybe it was something like that, but he could never hear what I hear. I've watched some YouTube videos about this particular issue, so I'm glad to see that I'm not the only one that has this going on. But I still don't quite understand like what exactly it's all about. So if anyone can shed some light on that, I would definitely appreciate any input. Another thing that's happened to me that I feel is kind of in the same category of weird as that is back in 2004, I think it was, I met this guy and we dated very briefly. But from the moment I met this guy, I felt very weirdly connected to him. Like I felt like he was the one, you know, it was like that strong of a bond that I felt with this guy. Now looking back, like I don't have any feelings at all for him, but this is where it gets weird. I've never had this happen with anybody else I've been with, and this includes my husband that I have been with for 7 years. I had dreams about things happening with this particular man that ended up being very, very true. The first time it happened, it was like a Tuesday, Thursday night, something like that. It was a night that he would go out and play darts with his buddies. I would stay home and he would come to my house after it was over, until I went to work in the morning. Well, this particular night I had this very vivid dream where I wake up and I look at the clock and it says 4:02. And it's weird that I can even remember details like that, but I do to this day, and it's been forever ago. I wake up, it's 4:02, I throw on some clothes and I drive to his house to find out like what's going on. Well, on the way to his house, his ex-girlfriend lived maybe like halfway in between. I know she lived there, and I know that she had like an office area there, took pictures or some shit. I don't know. But I didn't know like what unit she was in or anything like that. It was like a duplex or something. I've never even like looked around the house or anything, but in my dream I'm on my way to his house and I pass her house and his car is parked in her driveway. And in my dream I get out of my car and I go around the back of the building and go up a set of stairs and through a door, and he's standing there. And at that point is when I woke up and I looked at the clock and it was 4:02. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of strange. I didn't really think a whole lot of it. But I did get up and get dressed, and I was going to go to his house because I was just kind of weird like that. That had never happened before. He'd never done anything like that before. I was just kind of concerned and honestly probably a little nosy too. I don't know. But I get in my car to start driving to his house, and I realized the outfit I had put on was the same one I had worn in the dream. I kind of brushed it off, coincidence, you know, whatever. It was just the closest thing to me when I got in the closet. But when I was driving past his house, I was just thinking, you know, if I see his car in her driveway, I'm going to flip the fuck out. I'm going to go batshit crazy on this motherfucker is basically what I was thinking. But I never thought that I would see it there, but it was. So I pull up to the curb and I sat there for a minute collecting my thoughts, trying to figure out, you know, I should just probably leave, whatever, but I didn't. I got out of the car, I went around the back, just like I did in my dream, and there was actually a set of stairs that went up and to the left, and there was a set of stairs that went up and to the right. Well, in my dream, I had went up and to the right, and that is the way I went. And when I got to the top of the stairs and opened the door, yeah, I just walked up and opened her door. I didn't even knock. I just opened the door. I was batshit crazy. And there he stood. And they both looked at me like I was a lunatic, which I probably honestly looked like a lunatic. I wasn't planning on doing anything to this girl, or to him for that matter. I just wanted to see it with my own eyes, sort of, I guess. And she ended up calling the police on me, obviously, because I just kind of barged into her house like a crazy person I am. They got there, which I don't know why I didn't just leave. It's been too long ago for me to remember stuff like that. But that was only the first weird experience that I had with this particular guy. The next dream I had, I'll have to give you a little bit of backstory before we actually delve into the actual dream. We had been at a bar one night, and this girl was at the bar, and she was not very cute, kind of bigger. I won't say she's big. She's just bigger, and she just looked overall unhappy. No one was paying her any attention, and I'm the kind of person who does not get jealous if my boyfriend or whoever touches someone else, as long as it's okay with me. I'm present in the situation, things like that. I know a lot of girls wouldn't be able to handle something like that, but I'm a little bit different, I guess. So I asked him to give her a kiss, is what I did, which he did, and it seemed to like totally make her night. He was a corrections officer at the juvenile facility here in town, and she actually worked in the sheriff's department, which I didn't know that at the time. But he and I continued talking even after the incident where I found him at his ex-girlfriend's. According to him, it was all very innocent, which I almost believe him because she didn't want anything to do with him. So I don't think anything like that happened. If it did, I don't care, because that's in the past at this point. Things just kept staying weird between us. Like, he was acting so strange, and I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. So one night I was actually out with one of my friends, and I ran into that girl at a bar, and she was drinking water, something weird to be drinking in a bar, and I remember her cousin, who I knew from a totally different thing, which I'm not going to bring up, almost was like rubbing in my face that she was pregnant, and I couldn't figure out for the life of me why she would even be like drilling that into my head or like forcing it on me the way she was. But I never in a million years even considered what the outcome of this situation was going to be. I didn't even think anything of it. I kind of just went along my way and was hanging out with the guy friend that I had come to the bar with. Wasn't really paying very much attention to them at all after the original contact. I told her that I was happy for her, congratulations, you know, all that happy horse shit that people say to other people when they find out that they're pregnant. But when I went home that night, I had a dream that the baby that she was carrying was his. And in my dream, like, some other things happened that never ended up coming to fruition. But it's still the point that, you know, where did this come from? Like, how did this even come into my head for me to even think about it? In the dream, me and this guy ended up staying together, and we raised this child together. It was kind of like a happy little ending to a bad situation. When I woke up, I had that same feeling. It was real. Kind of like I felt with that first dream I had about him. It just felt different than waking up from other dreams. I can't explain it, but it just felt different. So I ended up like waking up with a start like, what the fuck? This cannot be true. This cannot be true. It can't be. It just can't. So I get to work that morning, and I ended up sending him a text asking him if he had gotten this girl pregnant. I'm not going to name any names. It took him a couple days to actually respond to me. I actually told him that I had another dream, and the dream told me that this is what had happened. And even then, it didn't make sense to me, because I would have never thought in a million years that he would be with her intimately, because she just wasn't his type. We sat there and said that she was ugly together that night that I made him kiss her. So it kind of is my fault, really, that all that happened, but whatever. He ended up a couple days later messaging me back saying that he had to really think about what he wanted to say and all this, and admitted to me that he had slept with her on New Year's Eve while I was at the club waiting for him, and she had gotten pregnant. So my dream was again spot on with this guy. I don't know what the hell that was all about. I don't know what the deal is with that, and I wish somebody could explain it to me. Like, I can find a lot of stuff about precognitive dreams and premonitions, but not just involving one person. I've considered keeping a dream journal just to see if any of my other dreams kind of lead me in other directions and maybe are premonitions on their own that I'm not really remembering when I wake up. Because I don't always remember my dreams, but I've also been the kind of person that's always had very vivid, colorful dreams, very involving dreams. I'm very involved in the dreams. And from what I've read and heard from other people, people who have dreams like that have some kind of psychic thing going on inside themselves. that maybe I'm just not in touch with, and I wouldn't even know where to start getting myself in touch with things like that. And I know I probably sound batshit crazy to all of you. There's such a stigma around things like this where most people, well, I don't know if most people, but a lot of people just don't believe in it. And I've never been that kind of person that doesn't believe in it, especially with the experiences that I have had, especially with like the ringing in the ears and the premonitive dreams that I had, the kind of dreams I was having about him. I also seem to have like deja vu a lot. I mean, like a lot. I'll be sitting somewhere and all of a sudden it just feels like I've been there before. And I just thought everybody like had stuff like this happen to them. But it looks like I might not be correct in that assumption. I'd like some understanding of what is going on inside of me and what kind of things would be causing this stuff to happen to me. And it also seems like, for example, the house that we lived in that was haunted, like I knew it was haunted like the moment I stepped in the door. Like I could just feel it. I can't even explain the feeling it is. It's just I can tell that there's a presence around me that other people don't necessarily notice. It's like I'm sensitive to supernatural things, and I don't understand what to do about it, or even if I want to do anything about it, because the thought of having more experiences along those lines that are actually more intense, because I've come to a point where I've harnessed these abilities inside myself. For kind of inviting these types of things to happen to me, I don't know that that's a road I want to go down. But I do feel like there's something different about me than other people. And I would like to have more understanding of why I'm different and what those differences mean to me and my life, and whether or not this is something that I can hand down to my children, like if they're going to have issues with the same kind of things. So if anyone has any information that they want to share with me, or if you want to tell me I'm fucking crazy, the comment section is below. Feel free to rip into me or give me some advice or information. I would appreciate that. Not so much the negative comments, but I'm sure I'll get them if anyone ever watches this video. But I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel and like this video if you kind of can relate to it, or if you just, I don't know why anyone else would like this video other than you relate to it. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But I hope everybody has a great day and they tune in for my next video. Bye.